一番肝心なことを調べ忘れちまったらしいな。おめえらの負けだ。
何
Hey everybody, Poohead189 here, and today I'm here to talk about transformations in Dragon Ball, particularly the Super Saiyan transformation. In nature, the idea of transforming one's shape or evolving rapidly is fairly rare. Caterpillars become butterflies and tadpoles grow into frogs, but in general it's not often seen. In the Dragon Ball universe, however, it's not uncommon. Sometimes it's a transformation due to someone's race or species, like Zarbon. Sometimes it's granted from being designed that way in a bioengineered android, like Cell. And sometimes it's utilized with a magical creature, like Boo. It's a common phenomena in the universe, and usually it means a marked increase in power. Let's take Zarbon. According to the Daizenshu 7, he has a power level of 23,000 in his base form. Vegeta had a power level of 24,000 when they fought one another, and Zarbon had to showcase his transformation to beat Vegeta. Considering Vegeta's Zenkai, or Saiyan power-up after the fight brought his power level up to around 30,000, it's safe to assume Zarbon's transformed state was around 28,000 or so. It could be 29,000, but I usually say it's around 28,000, which is close to a 20% increase in power. And this was one of the most minuscule increases in power from a transformed state in the series. Like Zarbon's people, the Saiyans also have a transformation unique to their species. It's very rare. In fact, it's so rare that prior to its introduction in the series, the last known Saiyan to achieve it was active a millennia ago. As you guessed it, it is the legendary Super Saiyan. A Super Saiyan is essentially a more powerful form than a Saiyan's base form. In order to transform, a Saiyan seems to need to be at a certain strength level. It's hard to gauge when that is, but Goku was around 3 million in power level when he achieved it, and Vegeta was most likely around that same level, as he was stronger than Frieza's third form, but before his death against Frieza's final form, and he only managed to transform after training a bit further during the 3-year time skip when he and the others prepared for the android's arrival. And once one attains a certain level of power, you need a catalyst. As Goku says, it comes from a need, not a desire. Not a biological need like food or water, but an intense need that is fueled by rage. For Goku, it was a need to make sure Frieza never harmed anyone ever again, after the death of Krillin and the maiming of Piccolo. For Vegeta, it was a need to find strength. He had reached his limit through training, as he says, and his immense rage at having plateaued caused him to transform. Of course, all of this is only for pure-blooded Saiyans. A human Saiyan hybrid tends to have a much easier time becoming a Super Saiyan. Nappa and Vegeta discuss half-Saiyan hybrids as they travel to Earth, noting their potential. It appears that Saiyans tend to have muted human emotions much of the time, probably due to their constant fighting. Goku tends to find many things less bothersome than his companions or opponents, and Vegeta, though he had a lot of camaraderie with Nappa, easily threw him aside when he was no longer useful. Nappa seemed to feel the same about Raditz, though prior, Raditz did not seem particularly keen on abandoning his comrades, if he felt like they didn't value him. Clearly, the Saiyans valued each other, but when they also were to be discarded, they didn't shed tears. It's hard to gauge on whether this is an evolutionary trait or something cultural, but Goku being notably thick-headed and a bit odd compared to most people growing up tends to lend that Saiyan psychology is slightly different than human psychology. When one is half Saiyan, however, they are far closer to humans in emotion and psychological aspect, and that is likely the catalyst on how they can become Super Saiyan easier. That, and they simply become more powerful more quickly than a pure-blooded Saiyan. At least, they tend to. Also, note that the psychological explanation is hypothesizing on my part. It's backed up by evidence, yes, but it's not stated anywhere. We can only speculate, but for some reason, half-Saiyan hybrids tend to achieve Super Saiyan forms easier than full-blooded Saiyans. Now, the transformation of Super Saiyan greatly increases the Saiyan's power, which in turn increases strength, speed, and ki reserves. In fact, we have an empirical measurement of the Super Saiyan's increase in power. According to the Daizenshu 7, Goku's power level was 3 million when he fought against Frieza prior to his transformation, and increased to 150 million after he transformed. His power level increased to 50 times its original strength, which is an incredible boost. It's unknown if that fluctuates based on a Saiyan's base strength, or if Toriyama kept that in mind for later. We all know Toriyama tends to not be very mindful of some things, but it is worth noting here. One's power is multiplied exponentially, while the user is able to maintain the form for some time, much longer than the Kaioken technique, though there is a price to be paid in energy from the Super Saiyan form, which we will discuss soon. Their hair also shoots upward, turning a fiery gold, whilst their eyes change from dark to a blue-green, almost teal color. Fun fact, Toriyama made the Super Saiyan hair golden, so his assistant had less work, as he constantly had to fill in Goku's dark hair often. Now, let's get to the subsequent forms of the Super Saiyan transformation, or the sub-forms. During the Android arc, after Goku was battling the Heart Virus and Vegeta was soundly beaten by Android 18, both Saiyans wondered if there were still heights they could achieve above that of a Super Saiyan. While they did not have Super Saiyan 2 in mind, as no one knew of its existence, they began to experiment in the Room of Spirit and Time, also known as the Hyperbolic Time Chamber in the English dub. Vegeta and Trunks, training together in the Time Chamber, developed two new sub-forms of Super Saiyan, something that they apparently invented separate from one another, at least partially. Both emerged after a year within the room, and left Kami's lookout to intercept Semi-Perfect Cell. The first subform is what is known as Ascended Super Saiyan, or ASSJ in abbreviation, otherwise known as Super Saiyan Grade 2. We see Vegeta most prominently in this form. He grows noticeably bulkier, and his hair grows slightly thicker and broader. I have heard it suggested this form is triple the strength of a normal Super Saiyan, but as far as I can recall, that is just speculation. What we do know is that both Vegeta and Trunks were able to dominate Semi-Perfect Cell, and Vegeta, when accumulating his power for his final flash, was able to maim Perfect Cell, even if he was beaten shortly after. The next form is Ultra Super Saiyan, or USSJ for short, also called Grade 3. This is the form Trunks uses when he goes all out in combating Perfect Cell. There's a marked increase in power and strength. However, they trade these newfound powers for speed. Vegeta, though he could achieve this form, did not utilize it because he saw its shortcomings, whilst Trunks is a less experienced fighter and did not realize the downsides of USSJ. Eventually, Trunks was beaten by Cell as well. The last subform, called Mastered Super Saiyan, or MSSJ, is the form Goku and Gohan achieved during their time in the Time Chamber. Goku could use Ascended Super Saiyan and Ultra Super Saiyan, but he saw something both Vegeta and Trunks did not: the energy expenditure. Ascended Super Saiyan, whilst more powerful than the first grade of Super Saiyan, still had the massive drain on energy that becoming a Super Saiyan gave. And so Goku decided, rather than taking the step from base form to Super Saiyan, he would make his Super Saiyan form his base form, and in doing so, he could not only utilize the power of a Super Saiyan while mitigating the energy drain through conditioning, but he could reach even higher levels of power by simply taking another step. It is unknown, but this could have been a pivotal part in Gohan being able to achieve Super Saiyan 2. Well guys, there you have it. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, all that jazz. I will have more Dragon Ball videos for you to watch in the future. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, and if you have any suggestions for another video, please let me know. Okay, thanks.